Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. RHOBH alum Crystal Minkoff clarifies recent claim about Kyle Richards. I was told that this is Kyle's show. Crystal Minkoff attempted to clarify her recent comment about former castmate Kyle Richards. However, that's not stopping Kyle from getting dragged online after the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans caught wind of Crystal's interview. The alum recently talked about her experience on the show and likened it to a sorority with Kyle as Queen Bee. Meanwhile, she was being hazed. According to Crystal, when she joined the franchise during season 11, her castmates gave her the 411 and told her it was Kyle's show. The statement has raised eyebrows since making the rounds on social media, and Crystal has now clarified things. Meanwhile, RHOBH fans have taken aim at Kyle on social media, calling out the 55-year-old for her behavior. Crystal Minkoff was told by her RHOBH castmates, "This is Kyle's show." Crystal Minkoff and the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Cynthia Bailey have joined forces for a new podcast, and the duo stopped by Nick Viall's podcast to promote their new venture. However, there was a lot of Housewives talk in the mix, and Crystal dished about her 3 seasons on the franchise. "When I started the show, I was told by the girls, 'This is Kyle's show.' They let you know," exclaimed Crystal. "It's a sorority," continued the brunette beauty. "I was being hazed, and she is like the queen, the den mother, whatever it's called, the president, and she will always be president." That snippet of Crystal's interview started making the rounds on Instagram, and she left a comment on a post by @BravoSnarkside. 1. Kyle never said this to me. 2. It was not meant in a bad way at all. I respect the rules that came before me, noted Crystal. RHOBH fans dragged Kyle Richards on social media. A snippet of Crystal's interview was posted on Instagram, and the critics instantly chimed in, throwing Lisa Vanderpump in the mix. "Now Kyle wasn't the queen until she got rid of Lisa V," exclaimed a commenter. "It was so much better when it was LVP's show," added someone else. An Instagram user said, "Ego is VYLE's middle name. Her tagline should be, 'What about me?'" One RHOBH viewer claimed the OG sold out her own sister and Camille, season 1. Kim has been struggling ever since. Now publicly. Someone else called Kyle the most overrated person on Bravo, adding, "When she gets out of that show, hopefully soon, everyone will forget about her next day. I am so tired of her." In the ever-dramatic world of Bravo's The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, RHOBH, feuds, alliances, and behind-the-scenes revelations often steal the spotlight just as much as the glamorous lives of the stars themselves. Recently, one of the show's alumna, Crystal Minkoff, found herself addressing a claim she made regarding longtime cast member Kyle Richards, sparking renewed interest in the dynamics that shape one of Bravo's most iconic franchises. Crystal joined RHOBH in season 11, bringing a fresh face and a unique perspective to the ensemble cast. However, her tenure was marked by a mix of heated confrontations and moments of camaraderie, especially with Richards, a RHOBH veteran who has been with the show since its first season in 2010. Throughout her time on the show, Crystal wasn't shy about expressing her opinions, but a recent statement she made about Kyle left fans buzzing and in need of some clarification. During a recent interview, Crystal was asked to weigh in on the ever-complicated dynamics of the Beverly Hills Housewives, particularly when it came to the influence Kyle Richards holds over the show. Crystal responded with a seemingly offhand comment. "I was told this is Kyle's show," implying that behind the scenes, Kyle is viewed as the central figure in the franchise. Fans and critics alike quickly seized on the remark, interpreting it as confirmation that Richards holds a dominant position not only among the housewives but also within the production hierarchy. However, Crystal has since sought to clarify her statement, emphasizing that it wasn't meant to diminish Kyle's role or suggest any sort of power play behind the scenes. In fact, she described her comments as more of an observation about the natural dynamics that arise after someone has been on a reality series for more than a decade. "Listen, Kyle has been on this show from day one," Crystal explained in a follow-up interview. "She's an OG, and there's no denying that she's been a huge part of what has made RHOBH such a success over the years. When I said it's Kyle's show, I didn't mean that in some political or literal way. I was just acknowledging what I've been told by others, and what is, in some ways, the reality of being on a show with someone who's been there since the beginning. Kyle has earned her place as a central figure, and that's just a fact. Crystal also stressed that her comment was never intended as a dig at Kyle or as an assertion that Richards controls the narrative of the series. Kyle has a big presence, but that doesn't mean she's dictating what happens or how things go. It's a group show, and we all have our own stories. I think what I was trying to get across is that, with Kyle, there's a certain expectation because of her longevity with the show. People naturally associate RHOBH with her because she's been the constant through all the cast changes and drama. Indeed, Kyle Richards has been at the heart of much of RHOBH's most memorable storylines, from family feuds involving her sister, Kim Richards, to her iconic clashes with former co-star Lisa Vanderpump. Over the years, her ability to navigate the shifting alliances among the Housewives, while maintaining a sense of stability within the franchise, has cemented her place as a central figure in the RHOBH universe. But while Kyle's influence on the show is undeniable, Crystal's clarification brings attention to the fact that The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is, at its core, an ensemble piece. Each season introduces new faces, stories, and conflicts that help shape the ever-evolving drama. Crystal, who quickly became a fan favorite during her time on the show, contributed her own story to the mix, offering insights into her life as an Asian American woman in Beverly Hills and the challenges of fitting in with such a well-established group. Her comment about Kyle being the face of RHOBH also opens up a broader conversation about how reality TV stars are perceived by both their co-stars and the audience. In the world of Housewives, where reputations and legacies are constantly being evaluated, being labeled as the star can be both a compliment and a burden. For Kyle, who has seen numerous castmates come and go, the responsibility of being the show's anchor may come with added pressure to perform, to be in the center of the drama, and to keep viewers engaged season after season. Crystal's clarification also underscores the complexity of the relationships between the Housewives, both on and off the screen. While fans may relish the on-screen battles and verbal spars, the women of RHOBH often navigate intricate dynamics behind the scenes, balancing friendships, fame, and the pressure to entertain. Crystal's revelation that she was told Kyle is the center of the show hints at a behind-the-scenes reality that isn't always visible to viewers, one where hierarchies and perceived roles can shape interactions in subtle but significant ways. At the end of the day, Crystal's remark about Kyle being the focal point of the show doesn't diminish the contributions of the other cast members, but rather highlights the unique position Kyle holds as the longest-standing housewife in Beverly Hills. And as the show continues to evolve, it's clear that each cast member brings their own distinct energy to the mix, whether they've been around for one season or a dozen. In her closing thoughts, Crystal made it clear that she respects Kyle's role on RHOBH and values her own time on the show. "I have nothing but love and respect for Kyle," she said. "She's done so much for the franchise, and I was lucky to share the screen with her. But at the same time, I think it's important to remember that RHOBH works because it's a group effort. Every woman on that show has a story to tell, and it's those stories coming together that make it what it is." As Crystal's comments continue to spark discussion, one thing is certain: the ever-dramatic world of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills will keep fans talking, both on and off the screen. Whether it's Kyle Richards at the center or another housewife stepping into the spotlight, the drama, glamour, and intrigue that have defined the show for over a decade are sure to keep audiences hooked for many seasons to come.